It's exciting to have you join us on another lovely edition of The Wedding Show. Remember, we're your ultimate guide to everything wedding. My name is Ruth Egbejule, and today we'll be looking at a budget wedding. Now, is it possible for a couple to have their dream wedding without breaking the bank? I do not have the answer to that question, but my guest is already in the studio and she'll be helping us out. To discuss this, I have the creative director of LP Events and More, Honorable Prevail Farida. Good to have you join us, ma'am.
Good to have you too.
Thanks for being in the studio.
Beautiful.
Thank you. You also look amazing. So how's life, how's work, how's family, how's business?
God has been faithful. Everything is good.
So how is life as an event planner? I always get that.
For me, it's beautiful, it's sweet, it's amazing because it is a passion-driven work for me. So anytime I have the opportunity to go out there and do my thing, it's like you're bringing joy into my heart, you know, fulfillment, ability to put smile on the face of my client is one thing that gives me joy. So it's a good one for me.
Okay, so budget wedding. What is budget wedding, or how can a couple have a budget wedding?
I would say it's a very complex one.
Let's make it less complex.
Yes, it's complex because for you to have a budget wedding, you need to understand what a wedding is all about.
Okay.
There is a need for you to have an understanding of who you are joining with, their capacity, their ability, what they can do, what they want. Not just what you want, especially for the lady. Not just what you want, not just how you want it, but how the both of you want it to be and what you can afford and what you're capable of doing. It is very important to have that understanding. When you have that understanding, it means you have an understanding of your journey. That is where the togetherness begins from. Then you can sit down and say, okay, for this wedding, this is all we have to spend, and we will not go above or beyond this budget. That is what we call budget wedding. That is a plan between the intending husband and the intending wife to be, that is the intending couple.
But have you had couples over time who came with their budget that you have to work with?
I love to have couples or clients who comes to me with budget.
But does that not restrict you from doing or from exploring, from going all out for them?
Okay, for me, like I said earlier, it is a passion-driven job for me. If it is passionate, if it's your passion rather, you would fit into whatever they bring your way. If it is not fitting into what they want to do, you can counsel them, help them to understand this is achievable, but we might not be able to get to this extent with what you have. But there is no budget that you cannot fit in or I cannot fit in as an event planner. Yes.
Honorable Farida, so are you saying if I bring small money like this now, you are planning wedding for me?
I will sit you down, we will discuss it. So if you are having plans for 200 guests, I will tell you, the wedding is doable, but 200 guests is not doable. I want to use this event center is doable, but your budget is not doable for that event center. So we give you options of where your budget can fit in.
But so for every time you have discuss with couples or counsel couples who come with a budget, do they listen or they still want it their way? Okay, I want like this, but still with the budget.
Yes, we have about 40% of them who really listen and who really appreciate whatever suggestion we give to them. That helps them to either say, okay, we want to adjust a little bit. Now that we know better, let's adjust a little, because a lot of intending couples go into wanting to fix in a budget without consulting an event planner. So if you consult an event planner to say, this is the kind of wedding we want, this is what we want to achieve, this is how we want it to be, these are the number of guests we want to see that day, this is the kind of event place we want, this is how we want the ambience to look like. When you discuss that with an event planner to consult from them. They help you understand. There you get to know, okay, this is workable, this is not workable, this is doable, this is not doable. But going on your own, sitting down and saying, okay, let's plan 3 million naira for our wedding. And at the end of the day, you want Davido kind of wedding. Oh my goodness. So, you know?
or Sharon or Jazz kind of wedding.
Exactly. So,
so what common mistakes do you think couples make when they have a budget for their wedding?
One of the mistakes was what I mentioned. Not reaching out to those who knows about it. Okay. It is a journey they've never applied before. They don't know anything about that wedding. Yes, your friend who had got married can tell you, oh, I spent this amount of money, but in the Nigeria today, you can't buy something yesterday and give an assurance to another person that what you bought yesterday, you will still get to the market and still buy it for that same price. So that is one common mistake people make in planning or budgeting for their wedding. They tend to do it on their own without seeking for professional advice.
So which wedding expenses tend to surprise couple the most from your experience? Such that when they see, they'll be like, this small thing, why is the money so, like, you know?
Exactly. You know, let me use an example of a client who wanted a beach wedding. They wanted a beachside wedding, and all they've got is that it's just a small thing. No, it's just about 100 guests. It includes the decor and everything, and they were calling 1.8 million. Like, you want to kill me? You want to? It's doable.
Yeah.
But the kind of environment you want, we cannot do such wedding in a public beach. It had to be a private beach because you cannot restrict people's movement. So something like that had happened. I've experienced that, and they're like, oh no, we can do it. Is it not just beach? How much do they pay for beach? We'll pay for each head to enter, to access the gate. I'm like, okay, how much is per head to access? If we had to charge by that, 1.8 million is not enough to even bring in people, let alone the setup, the refreshment, the decoration, and all of that is involved, the security, and everything you need for a wedding. Most times, a lot of clients just have it in their head, but the way it works in their head is not the way it works in reality. So,
I know for you, you've been talking about passion, but how have you been able to manage the pressure that comes with a budget wedding?
Okay, this is one thing I'll tell you about passion and ability to manage pressure. For me, one of my slogans is that we are here to get stress so that you can rest.
Okay.
So I understand that route, that this journey is not a funfair for me from beginning. It is going to be a very tough one. I need to carry on all of the pressure that is supposed to be on my client. What we are doing is transference of position. I take your place as the one that is supposed to do the run around, and you pay me for running around for you so you can rest and have a beautiful wedding. So I prepare myself and my team for that already. Clients are not often the same. Some are calm, cool, and easy to go with. Some, with the little budget they have, they would want to finish your life with, oh no, this is how I want it. No, it's meant to be like this. I want this to be. So you need to calm down. Yeah. What I do most of the time is I look at them while they are talking. I just look. So by the time you talk for like 2 minutes and you see me not saying a word, I'm just looking at you. Yeah. I tend to bring down whatever. No, you don't get what I'm trying to say is like, so calm down. Yes. I know what you're going through. I know what you want, but this will not help you. What I'm supposed to be doing is what you are doing. The stress is mine. Yours is to rest. So I handle it that way.
You are such I mean, you have all the medicine in terms of this.
Because I want to live long.
Exactly. And there's nothing as good as when you understand your job. That's I give kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take a quick break. I will be back. Do not forget, my guests are still in the studio, and we are looking at a budget wedding. Stick around.
As Africans, whenever we hear the words mental health or therapy, we often think in extremes, being mad or roaming the streets. On this show, we're here to change that narrative. Together, we'll explore practical real-life solutions, speak to leading mental health experts in Africa, and correct false assumptions. This is not just about awareness, we are about action.
If your sexual health is not in a good state, have someone you can talk to.
You can go to therapy to better yourself.
I'm Fauzia Zakaria, and this is the Mindspace TV show. Healing begins with understanding, and understanding begins here.
Welcome to Candid Conversations. This is that show that offers unfiltered glimpse into the real stories of some of today's most impactful leaders. In a world that often celebrates the final products of success, Candid Conversations takes you behind the scenes to uncover the personal struggles, doubts, fears, failures that have shaped the leaders we admire today. In each episode, we sit down with people who have made their mark across different industries: media, politics, entertainment, business, entrepreneurship, and beyond. And we have honest, thought-provoking conversations around their personal and professional journeys. The goal of the show is simple. It is to go beyond their accomplishments and accolades and uncover the raw, emotional stories that rarely make the headlines. My name is Blessing Okebe, your host, and this show is coming to you live from Universal TV Africa. Let's get into these conversations.
So welcome back to the wedding show, and we have been discussing budget wedding. My guest, Honorable Farida, is still here. So ma'am, so some people have come out to say that budget wedding are low class wedding. How true is that, or do you agree with that?
100% false. That's not true. It's not a low, what did you call it?
Low budget.
Low budget. It's not.
Low cost, low class wedding.
It is not low class, it is not low cost, it is not low anything.
Oh.
That I have a plan for my life, because that is life. That is a decision. As a matter of fact, budget wedding for me is an understanding of, it talks about the understanding, an agreement and an understanding between the intending couple. For them to be able to sit down and say, this is what we're going to spend, it shows the journey already. It's telling me about how their journey will be. So the fact that someone bring up a budget for their wedding does not make it cheap. Let me use that word. Does not make it low class. Does not make it, what other word did he use? I'm looking for all of those words. It is not. It is still a perfect wedding. And I need to let people know about that. There is nothing called low class wedding. Wedding is wedding, regardless of how much you spend on your wedding day. It does not guarantee a successful marriage. So, a planned or a budget wedding, is it for me? It's 100% premium and nothing else.
Okay, so what are those factors one should consider when planning a budget wedding? Knowing that, okay, you have your limit. So what are those basic things that you should put in place first?
That is where we have the, let me call it the do's and don't. Don't overshoot your shot. Budget wedding can be over. You can say, oh, let's budget 30 million naira for a wedding. A wedding is an occasion where you gather people because you want to celebrate, because that day, that sitting down, the wedding we are talking about is not the real deal. It's not the joining together. The joining together would have happened before the wedding. The word wedding, I think the one we call wedding, is the reception, where we have people do the merriment and all of that. It's a day where people gather, you bring friends, family, even your enemies together to come celebrate you, saying, come and see what God has done for me. That is a day. That day will come and go. You need to consider the days ahead of you. That is the marriage. You need to plan. As you're planning for your one thing we do, I'm not going to disclose that because it's our own recipe. But there's something we do. If I'm charging my client 100 million, for example, the 100 million naira we charge is not just for us. But I won't go into that.
Okay.
Now, while you're planning the budget for your wedding, it is essential that you plan alongside days after the wedding.
Oh.
So in that budget, there should be a plan for, our house is set, what we need in the house is already fixed. The food we will be eating for at least the period of our honeymoon if you're not going for, and if you're going for something you can come back to meet. Something you can start your life together with that creates a beautiful memory. So it's not just about that day. Planning the budget is not just for that wedding day. It's not just creating. A lot of people, it's still based on budget. I've seen people who say, I want to spend 15 million naira on my, that is our budget. We are not going beyond that. You'll give me 15 million to plan your wedding. I go do your wedding, don't worry. But I will not tell you the remaining thing. But we have always wowed couples who had that mindset. We ask them questions. For me, you come to me about wedding, I ask you questions. Like I'm starting a counseling session for you. What have you done? What have you achieved? Have you gotten a house? Is it set up?
Oh.
Yes, those are important things. Everybody will come and bid you goodbye. And you know what? The reality
sets in.
Begins the next day. So we face and focus. We focus more on the reality. 80% attention we give it to your reality, and we give 20 to the merry day.
Wow, this is such an eye-opener.
Exactly.
So how do you work with vendors in this case?
Okay, so every event manager or planner or management does have a couple of vendors they work with, depending on the budget as well. We work on vendors. So we have budget, we have vendors for like our A-list wedding plans. We have vendors for the maybe just the royal, we have it in classes.
Okay.
So we have vendors for each category, and sometimes we take from the top to even the bottom. Depending on how the client comes, we discuss with, this is what our client want. Let's do this. Let's do it for them. Let's make this day a memorable day for them. So it depends on the presentation of our clients. How you come will determine what you get.
So is it also true, it's not me that said it though.
Okay.
Let me ask. Is it also true that when clients have not just a budget, but limited budget, those clients, they give more problem? You can't.
There's something I want to say. You know this saying that short people are troublesome.
You have answered it all.
You know that saying.
Of course I do.
So sometimes it have not for all,
okay,
but for majority.
I've heard that over and over again.
It's
Being
like
in the business as well,
because they tend to be very defensive. They already understood that, we don't have the capacity to do this thing. Please permit me. I'm a Lobo Junior. Like we shall we just have to do it. Like we just have to do. If you don't open your eyes, they will just take you for.
Yeah.
So they come already prepared. They are very defensive. A lot of them, but there are people who still come this cool, calm. We appreciate what you're doing. We know we may not be able to afford you, but we desire to have you.
Oh dear.
So you see the difference
Yes.
between someone will come, yes, can you do it or you cannot do it? This is what we have, this is what we can afford, and you already know that this one is trouble.
Not trouble. So as we wrap up, what advice would you give to couple who have a budget already?
Okay. To my dearly beloved, beautiful, intending couples out there. First of all, I want you to have an understanding of your journey. Marriage is a good thing, especially when the woman understands our purpose, the true essence of our existence. And the true essence of a woman's existence is to help and to meet needs. So, and also a man should understand the triple P that is attached to the journey. That is, the man is called to be the priest, is called to be the protector, and is called to be the provider. You need to come to an understanding that this journey does not come funny sometimes. You are not born in the same place. Probably you don't even speak the same language. But you are coming together to build a home where you decide to speak in one language. So it is my advice for you to look up to God first of all in this journey and trust Him to provide no matter how much you've got to plan with or what your budget is. It is important for you to know that it is God that can keep you before, during, and after that day and can make that day happen. So put your trust in God and see Him as the one who is the only source that will bring about that beautiful day you are looking out for. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much, my guest, Honorable Preville Farida, the Creative Director of LP Event and More. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And do not forget that we are going to move on to the next segment, which is a fun facts about wedding. Don't miss it.
Hello, amazing people. My name is Godfrey, Kelechku Godfrey, and you can call me K. I am a banker with over a decade experience with Nigeria's foremost financial institution, a certified financial educator, a young man with an acumen for business and financial intelligence. Let's just say I am the first financial educator you should have met and the last you'll ever need. I am the host of Money Matters with K on Universal TV Africa, where we discuss your money, my money, and the government's money. Without further much ado, let's get the show on the road.
This is the wedding show, and welcome back to the fun facts about wedding segment. And I am going to enjoy the segment with my guests. So this one says Queen Victoria started the Western world's white wedding dress trend in 1840. Before then, brides simply wore their best dress. So just wear your best dress and just come out like that.
I think I prefer that.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Would you want to do that?
Of course, yes. Wear your best dress, what you're comfortable in.
What is my special day, Ojari? We're talking about
It's your special day. That's why it had to be special.
Okay, so another one says, ancient Greeks and Romans thought the veil protected the bride from evil spirits. Brides have worn veils ever since then. This one even shocked me.
You know, we have our way of seeing things, just like the bride,
yes.
the wedding dress, and then the veil. They may see it that way. And if they are saying it that way, oh, yes, it's okay. As according to their belief, it works for them.
It works for them.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the last one. It says, in Asia, wearing robes with embroidered cranes symbolizes fidelity for the length of a marriage. I think that's the vibe. You actually got it. All right. So that does it for us today on The Wedding Show. Remember, it was budget wedding we talked about. So I'm sure if you're an intending couple, you already know your stand and what to do, the do's and don'ts. Until I see you next time, the conversation continues across all our social media platforms at The Wedding Show. My name is Ruth Egbejule. Bye-bye.